Welcome back, guys, to my studio. Now we're a little bit further than we were last time. I wasn't very convinced with the result so far, so I've decided to make some little steps in between till the next recording, which is now, because I was a little bit afraid that it wouldn't turn out that great, because that happens from time to time, that I'm not so convinced of the results. Doesn't happen often, but sometimes I start a song, invest 5 or 6 hours in it, and I have to tell, no, this is not going to work out, and I just quit the project and delete it. But now I did some minor changes, and I wanted to show you the result, how far we are, and this is the way it sounds now. Okay, it sounds a little bit better, doesn't it? I'm going to tell you what I did in the middle part. So obviously the first thing I did was I took one of those orchestra hits and I played it backwards, so it does some kind of an intro tune, like sounds like this. Okay? And I've added some things like additional trumpets. They sound a little bit weak on their own, but in the composition it works. They sound like that here. Okay, and I added more trumpets, 4-player trumpets. And the tricky part is about this, that it sounds okay now. It sounds good, I think. The problem is it plays pretty fast. It plays at about 130 beats per minute. Standard is about 120. And 10 beats per minute is quite a lot, because I wanted to stick to the original as good as I can. But because the original was recorded with synth stuff and old machines, it was easier, you know, to achieve that effect. And it's hard to get the effect, the proper effect, with good sounding instruments at about 130 beats per minute. This is quite tricky, but I think it turned out quite good. Okay, next thing I did, I've changed the drum beat a little bit. That's what I told you. It's what I do just to stick to the original and add my own stuff. So the drum beat I played at the beginning was like... And that's obviously not the original. The original goes like... Okay, it's a little bit another beat, and I added, since this is a very rocky song, I added this. So you can hear it now. That sounds pretty good. And I also added a little bass line. It's some kind of an intro. Let me show it to you. Then before the guitar kicks in, that's just a little bass line, which you can hear in the whole composition. It sounds like that. And this would be the part where the guitar kicks in. Okay. Thing I heard in the original was the guitar side quite authentic, because it sounded very good. It was very natural somehow. It had guitar slides, you know, like boom, and it had little bands, you know, like da 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 da. And the next step would be the guitar. So I'm going to show you something. Okay, this is my Telecaster guitar. It's a Fender Telecaster. It's obviously linked to country music, and I got it 4 or 5 weeks ago. I was always a little bit afraid of guitars actually because I'm a trained piano player, so I've been playing piano since about 8 or 9 years actually, or even more. And I was always afraid of guitars because I just couldn't figure them out. You know, I was sometimes I was trying to do stuff and never ended up with something useful, and I never really started to play guitar. But I got this one because I fell in love with the sound of banjos about 6-7 years ago when I got myself a banjo. And the great thing about a banjo is it's an open G tuning, so it means when you got a guitar, you have to push something. If you want to play C, you already have to make a chord somehow. And what was great about the open G tuning is that you strum the guitar or the banjo and you just strum it. You don't have to press anything and you have a G already. And I found that very handy. And so I started to play the banjo and figured some stuff out and played it quite a few years now. And then one day I accidentally discovered that Keith Richards always uses his guitar, and he's known for tuning his guitar to G as well. And so I thought, if it works for Keith Richards, why should it work for me? And so I bought this guitar. Obviously, it was for my country project, but I also thought that it would be good for a James Bond recording because this has some kind of a twang which it is very famous for. You can hear the distortion already, but it's a great distortion sound as well, and you can go like. I love that sound. It's just awesome. When it comes to guitar recording, I always have to play like 10 or 12 times because I'm not a guitar player. I would never play it on stage. But the great thing about it is in recording, I can do it over and over. And for example, sometimes I also combine recording. So I just record this part. Then I stop the recording. And I go, and if I make a mistake, I can start recording again and go. Just going to record it now. Yeah. Okay, and now what I'm also going to do is you could hear the. You could also hear the. And when I listen to the original song, it's also one octave lower. Okay, so I'm going to record that as well. Okay, so now the guitar is recorded. We're going to listen to the whole thing. Okay, so this was the basic part about guitar recording. The next video, we're going to look at some more stuff. I'm also going to add like little Celeste, and I'm also going to add pizzicato strings that do the. You could hear the trombones or the deep brass going like. And I'm also going to do that, and a little bit of harp, who would that would do the. Just to reinforce the James Bond melody a little. Okay, and what I'm also going to add, that comes the next part of the song, and we'll add a little bit of extra, but see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.